Alright guys, good evening. How y'all doing on this Sunday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here for a recording. I'm trying not to say live as I'm used to, but this is going to be a very, very quick pre-recorded review of this week's episode of Smackdown. I am tired, guys. As you can kind of tell now, as I said, this weekend we're moving the rest of my big stuff to my new house, which I got the office pretty much set up for the most part. The basement, the main thing, and the attic are the main things I got to organize now. But we've settled in pretty well here. Yes, I do know that floor lamp behind me is a little distracting, but I have to put it there as, again, as I probably may not mention before, my other videos that I've done this past week, but this room and the spare bedroom are the two rooms that do not have a ceiling lamp. So we had to buy some floor lamps. But the reason why it has to be right there, which I probably could move it over if I wanted to for the streams, but it has to be right there because the outlet there is connected to the light switch on the wall that I can just, flick the lamp on and off, rather than just me trying to walk in and just turn the knob myself. So I know that backlight can be a little bit distracting, but I'm hoping soon to be able to, pull out the green screen again and maybe start doing some green screen backgrounds again in my streams, as I would like to do so, of course. Before I get started, I also like to say I have been working on the new intro this past week as well when I had some downtime. I think I'm almost done with it. The main thing I do is just record the pieces that I am in it. So my goal, I'll set this. My goal for the revamp of the channel, new intro, new graphics, all that stuff. The goal I will set for that is to have that stuff debut at Elimination Chamber. The new, structure to, well, I don't think my preview and I don't think much is going to change with my pay-per-view graphics. I mean, the main reason why I think I want to rearrange some things on my graphics is because to advertise the other social medias for the channel as well. So that's probably the main reason why I want to change it up a bit. But we'll of course cross that bridge when it gets there. But the new intro, of course, at least will debut at Chamber. My Elimination Chamber review. That's where that will debut. And when that happens, I will also start the Instagram page. And depends on how that goes, maybe eventually a Facebook page as well. Again, I also keep saying this channel is monetized. It's not monetized, but I still want to have the social media aspect to have this a little fun with the channel. But it is 9:55. I am tired from the moving and the organizing. And I do have to go to a dentist appointment early tomorrow morning, so I would like to just get this stream done with and out of the way. Well, not done with, and it's not a stream, but just still get to bed at a decent time tonight. But let's talk about this really quick. So again, this episode of Smackdown, which is the Fallout show from Rumble, we are now on the road to Elimination Chamber, which takes place this month, February 18th, in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And the biggest fallout from this episode of Smackdown was what's going to be the fallout from the Bloodline. And with Sami Zayn finally having enough of Roman Reigns' tactics, turning on Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, with that steel chair shot to the back of Roman Reigns. Is Jey Uso going to show up? What is going to all happen on this show? Well, to be honest, other than that, and maybe the segment with Rey and Dominic, this is a very skippable episode of SmackDown. We had the finals for the tag titles, which that was solid. But we had, the rematch for the SmackDown Women's Championship with Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville that I just really didn't care for. And just a couple random little matches in there, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is, but again, it's just weak divisions, that still need to have some work to do. That Triple H, of course, is working hard, trying to, get something going. It's just, he's in a tough spot. But let's talk about this. We opened up with, first we had the Bloodline rolling up in their usual SUVs. And they come out, of course, with no Sami Zayn and no Jey Uso. Caleb Braxton's trying to get a word with them, but they all brush her off except for Paul Heyman, who tells her, for such a cold-blooded question, they cannot confirm or deny Jay's presence in the Bloodline. So, of course, that's not good for them. The opening match was, again, the finals for the tag title No More Contenders tournament was Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Imperium's Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. It was solid. Again, I think the reason why I was a little out of this match was the fact that I thought the booking still was just weird how, yes, the Viking Raiders did beat down Drew McIntyre and Sheamus last week, but they were able to both get up and they just forfeited their spot just so they can go after the Viking Raiders. Like, that was strange. I thought to me, strange booking. And you have a team that just filled in for them, Braun Strowman and Ricochet, that they're just basically for the most part just getting a free pass to past the first round. So that kind of took me out of this tournament a little bit, but you pretty much expected Strowman and Ricochet to win. We'll see how they do against the Usos next week. Of course, again, the big story again is, will Jay show up? Or will Jimmy have to defend the tag titles himself? Or will they allow Solo Sikoa to step in? We'll have to wait and see. But Braun Strowman and Ricochet win a solid match. Then we have Charlotte Flair being interviewed. First, of course, she's asked about both her title match tonight against Sonya, and also the news this past Monday on Raw that Rhea Ripley chose her to face her at WrestleMania since Rhea won the Women's Royal Rumble. Charlotte says WrestleMania is going to be epic. You can't underestimate someone as persistent as Rhea. But tonight, though, and of course it's going to continue, Sonya rolls up and calls it Hicksville that nobody wants to be in and says she wants to win that title and it'll be her against Rhea and Mania because Hollywood demands a star and she's a star. Then we have this segment with, I forgot, I guess Rey Mysterio was sponsoring some NASCAR thing, but then Dominic crashed it and it ended up having Rey and Dom. Well, New Day was there with Rey, but we also had Dominic and the rest of Judgment Day come out too, and basically they had a NASCAR race with Rey Mysterio, one of the drivers, and then Dominic Mysterio, one of the drivers. They raced around the track, and Rey won. So, okay, something a little different there. A little more of this, again, off-screen stuff that seems to be a thing going right now with Rey and Dom. When will Rey finally put his hands on Dom? I don't know. Again, I thought that was going to be at Rumble, but wasn't quite the case. So we'll see. Then we have Charlotte and Sonya have their women's tag match. And again, I really did not care about this. I'm sorry. Like I said recently, I missed the Sonya Deville we got from 2020. Like that, with her feud with Mandy Rose, that's when Sonya, I think, was at her best. She has improved a lot. But this, spoiled, bitter, official who tried... Basically, she was a female Baron Corbin. A spoiled official who used, their power to get what they want. And now it's like she's just a wrestler now. And they're trying to tell that same story, but she's not an official. And again, I just can't stand it. It's starting to really annoy me. I just hope we somehow go back to 2020 Sonya Deville. Because again, we know she can do it. She's proven to me she can do this. It's just the character they have for now. Like, I just don't care. I really don't care, and I didn't see her as a threat to Charlotte. So Charlotte retains, as we thought. Cody Rhodes had a video package celebrating his comeback and Rumble victory. Again, of course, they advertised for now, of course, the main event of WrestleMania 39 is going to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Then we have a backstage with Roman, Jimmy, and Solo. And Roman's like, hey, where's your brother? And neither of them know, and they haven't spoken to him. Then Roman's like, if he finds that disrespectful, not only would Jay walk out, but not even communicate for a whole week. And then they have a title match next week as well. So basically, Roman says, get your butt up and find Jay now. So they went off on their own. Brawling Brutes and the Viking Raiders had a tag match. It was physical, hard hitting. I keep saying this though. It's like I'm intrigued by this by adding in Sarah Logan as Valhalla, but again, it's like it's not really going anywhere right now. Like, I can see it has something to it, but it's just starting to feel bland. Like, give me something more than just, two big men and a lackey just standing there. Like, she's there's nothing to like be afraid of her about. But they beat the Brawling Brutes. Afterwards, though, McIntyre and Sheamus came out and attacked the Viking Raiders for some good measure. We have a recap of the Pitch Black match with Bray Wyatt rocking in his chair when a hand claps his shoulder. The figure bends to look into the camera, and it's Uncle Howdy alive and well. Okay. We had a random fatal four-way because again, it was a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, for the Women's Chamber, even though it's for the Raw Women's title, having both SmackDown and Raw superstars fight for it. Okay, I guess if we could have, a Raw star win the Rumble, go to fight the SmackDown Women's Champion, I guess we can, do this way and have them fight for the Raw Women's title also, I guess. I don't know. But as we learned on Monday, 4 people were already received, buys into the chamber, which was Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, and Asuka. And the reason why is because they were the final 4, besides Rhea Ripley, in the Women's Rumble match. Thank God they finally gave some explanation as to why some people had to qualify and some don't. So, of course, this first match we had was a fatal 4-way between Natalya, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Blackheart, and Zelina Vega. I mean, on paper, all 4 of those women could tear it up, but again, the problem is they just have bland characters right now, and you just don't really care. But Natalya, again, who returned from injury at the Rumble, she gets the victory with a sharpshooter getting Zelina Vega to tap out. Natalya's the 5th member of the chamber, but of course I don't see her winning at all. But then we have the final chamber qualifying match on Monday, which is going to be who was on though? Oh yeah, Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, Piper Niven, and Carmella, who have her first match in a long time. So we have that match on Raw tomorrow night. We basically finished off then, of course, with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Paul Heyman first apologized to Roman as he says that Jay's phone goes straight to voicemail. Jimmy and Soul returned, and they said they had no luck either. Then Roman, though, fumes up about the timing, but then apologized to Jimmy for talking that way to him earlier, and he says he needs them to be as strong as they ever were, because if they're not, there's no more ones to put up. And then he orders, he asks Paul to order catering to the bus and tells Jimmy and Solo to go eat while he takes care of business. So that's basically him, rewarding them for sticking by them. But he says, I'm going to take care of some business in the ring. You guys go eat. So then we have this closing segment where Roman Reigns is addressing the current state of the bloodline. So he comes out, and of course, everybody is just chanting for Sammy. And then he of course, demands Greenville to acknowledge him and says he's better to talk about Cody Rhodes because he's the number one contender and the Royal Rumble winner, who actually deserves attention. Which, of course, gives me... See, again, as we get into this Roman and Sammy stuff, again, there comes to a point where we got to address that there's a lot of people who are basically looking at Sami Zayn as 2023's Daniel Bryan. People want Sammy to be put to the top. But I think the plan is still for Sammy to lose at Chamber and in some way set up his tag match with him and KO versus the Usos at Mania, which is still, because again, I feel like, keep saying, this moment is not about just one of them. It's about the both of them having like that big WrestleMania moment. Kevin Owens, even though of course he is meant to be a world champion, has not held any title at all since 2017. That's a sin right there. Sami Zayn, he's had a couple brief and not too memorable runs with the IC title. But again, this is about two best friends sharing a big moment and coming together, which is, I think, what's going to help, me at least forgive them for not putting the world title on Sammy. But I got to acknowledge again that Sammy is so over. Now, I understand why fans would be upset if they wouldn't, put the belt on Sami Zayn instead of Cody Rhodes. But, of course, you get those vibes where it's like, you have Cody Rhodes saying he respects Roman Reigns. You got Roman Reigns saying, well, I want to acknowledge who my true challenger is. But then he goes, but now, of course, we've got to talk about the past. Which, of course, makes me believe, does Backstage realize that they know fans want to see Sami Zayn on top? But anyways, getting back to this interview. He says some folks reduce him to talk about the past. He'll remind us there's two sides to every story. We're going to hear his side of the story, which goes back to War Games. He opened Sammy's eyes that night and saw everything he needed to see, which was greed. The same thing that he sees in everyone who has interacted with him. When he walks to a restaurant, everyone wants what they want, and that's to use him. He gave Sammy a chance, and all he did was use the bloodline and use the island of relevancy. And how nobody wants to get back, blah, blah, blah. And then out of the blue, Sami Zayn attacks Roman Reigns. Takes him down with punches. And Sami Zayn has basically a new edited honorary Oos shirt. Except it's covering up saying Sami Zayn. So basically it's the same design. It just says Sami Zayn, not honorary Oos anymore. Which I also gotta say this. Montreal, give him his old theme back. When they get to Montreal to have this match with the Undisputed title, give Sammy his old theme back. I think that's just... It's necessary at this point. You really want to, have us feel that Sami Zayn again, give him his old theme back. But, of course, Sammy's attacking it. But then Roman, of course, recovers and tries to take out Sami Zayn, calling on Paul Heyman to bring him a chair. But my favorite part still of this whole segment, as Roman was taking his time with the chair, Sami Zayn gets up and, again, looking like he literally could for real outdo him, he speared Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn gave a hell of a spear to Roman Reigns, and I actually thought it was pretty cool. But of course, he went to grab the chair and he went to wallop Roman with it, but Roman rolled to the floor. And then Sammy howled at Roman and says, Roman's wrong. He never wanted anything from him until now. And he's coming after the undisputed Universal title. But then Jimmy and Solo returned from catering and they attacked him. And then they were about to horse collar him with the steel chair around his neck in the corner, and Sol was going to do a big splash on him. But Roman stopped him and goes, nah, we'll do this a different way. So he stops him, and he approaches Sami. And again, as I always say, when you hear Roman's trash talk in the ring without the microphone, I just feel like it makes his character even that more intriguing, as I've always thought. Especially, of course, with his stuff with Jay back in 2020. But he says he wants some. It says Sami and says, "You want something from me?" And he pulls a chair out as we hear a thunderous "We want Jay" chant. And he basically says, well, they want Jay, but Jay's not here because of you. You broke up my bloodline, and I'll give you what you want, but I also want what I want in return. In Montreal, at the Elimination Chamber, he wants to break him in front of his friends and family and all of his own town. And this is simple reality. So, yes, he accepts Sami Zayn's challenge, and it will be at Elimination Chamber in Sami Zayn's hometown of Montreal, which is another reason why people think he should win the title there. But, of course, the big factor here is what will happen with Jey Uso. Will Jey show up? Will he turn on Sami? That suspense there. And, of course, again, what makes it even more interesting, again, is Jey was the original right-hand man of Roman Reigns when this whole new heel character started. It comes all full circle back to 2.5 years ago when Jey Uso, wanted the opportunity, but then Roman would basically try to, goad him into being one of his henchmen. And, of course, when he finally agreed to, it comes full circle. So I'm excited about this match. I don't think we've ever had Roman Reigns and Sami Uso one-on-one. And Sami Zayn one-on-one ever. So I'm intrigued by this for sure. I cannot wait. Again, I know this brings up a big red flag to whether or not that they should put the belt on Sami. I still think they should stick to the original plan. It's Cody's time. But you might have to pull an audible here. But in the weeks coming, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Cody gets the belt. Or if Sami gets the belt going into Mania. We'll have to find out. But yeah, that's our review of SmackDown. I gave it a C+. Again, other than that stuff with Roman and Sami and the Bloodline and that NASCAR segment with Dom and Ray. Very skippable show. I gave it a C+. As I said at the beginning of the show, again, expect the current graphics to stay how they are. But again, come Chamber, I will start debuting some new graphics. Starting off, of course, with the new intro. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to check out here. Thank you guys for tuning into this brief SmackDown review. Again, I promise you also, hopefully I'll try to get that light in the background out of the way too, because I know it can be a little bit distracting. It really washes out my face, but when I cover it up, it's not too bad. So, yeah, just, stuff to, play around with now I'm in a new house. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this episode of SmackDown? I gave it a C+. Be sure to leave your thoughts again down in the comments section below. And be sure to always do slap like on the video and subscribe or comment to my channel. And follow me on Twitter at the Club with the Man 93. And I know I haven't used it for a while, but be sure to always still check me out on TikTok. And shout for Meatball Sub. Follow me on TikTok at the Club with the Man 1993. And hopefully soon, Instagram as well. So we will see, of course, what happens in the next couple of weeks. But again, I'm settling into my new home. Yes, I got a lot to do for my wedding this summer, but we hope, of course, have, things settle down, and be able to do some lives again. So I do still have some ideas I want to do still. And get back into video games as well. Because when I got back from, the weekend I got back from Vegas, I did record the first year of my next Roller Coaster Tycoon Let's Play. So my hope is still, maybe try to, do another round of that and get that park complete as well. And maybe some Wolfenstein as well, too. We'll see, though. But guys, until then, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. And again, I also look forward to my new, upcoming updates to the channel. And we'll see what happens. Have a good night, guys. Peace out, everybody.